Welcome to this week's episode of the Success Realtor Podcast by yours truly, Colleen Wood. Here is where we celebrate success in real estate and share the wisdom and struggles so that others can be successful too. If you're a new listener, I'm the producing branch manager of the Wood team at Hometown Lenders, and I'm known for helping realtors earn a lot more money in commissions without selling their soul to the industry and while maintaining balance with what's most important in life. I am so excited to be talking to Chantal Hale, a realtor with eXp Realty out of Billings, Montana. She has a super amazing background and knowledge base to share with us today. I am so excited to be chatting with you today. I can't wait to dive into these questions.
Thanks for having me, Colleen. I'm really excited to be here as well.
This is going to be awesome. You guys listen in because she's got some amazing perspective, and this is going to be really fun. So you have a very diverse background. Can you give us a little history as to what that looks like, kind of where you started from and how you ended up into the real estate industry?
Yeah, so it is very eclectic and maybe non-traditional. So I am a sixth generation Montanan. And so
Wow.
I graduated, so ranching family up kind of on the High Line. Grew up here, graduated from Shepherd, Montana. Actually live in Shepherd, Montana again. So that's kind of fun. I guess throughout like high school, I was just involved. I was one of those kids who was involved in everything because I liked to travel. I liked to meet people. I'm an extrovert at my core. So anything that got me out and made me uncomfortable, I really got comfortable with to begin with. So I did 4-H, I drag race, which both of those two things alone are probably like game changers for me because I still talk to all those people. My kids are in 4-H now. We're starting to drag race.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's super fun. It's a lot of who I am. So I went to school initially for college for athletic training and physical therapy because I really wanted to help people, right? Well, 2 years in, I got pregnant. And so I moved back home and got my degree in elementary education and art. And then my, he's my boyfriend at the time, but he's now my husband of 15 years, I think we are. We're just we do things backwards. So we got married and he joined the military first. He went Army and then he got orders for Korea, and I had one more year left to finish my elementary ed degree here. So I stayed here. He went to Korea, and we were long distance before that. So we had never spent more than a week together until he came back from Korea. We'd already been married for over a year. And then we got orders for Fort Eustis, Virginia. So we went to Virginia, and I was terrified because that's a really long ways away from Montana, and I'd only been to school in North Dakota, right? So I was worried because I was like, I've never spent more than a week with this guy, and now I'm going to live with him. Like, we have a kid and everything already. But, so that was very scary for me. But honestly, I think it was the best thing for us to not have my home so close so that I could be like, yeah, this isn't working out. I'm leaving. Because that's what I would probably tend to do. So while we were in Virginia, I landed this really amazing job at SeaWorld Busch Gardens.
Oh my gosh.
And I went to this job fair. Yeah, I went to this job fair, and my resume was kind of weird, right? Like I have all this 4-H stuff on there, and I'm like, I don't know if this even matters to people anymore. But I thought if worst case scenario, I was like going to get to let people on rides and like get on roller coasters and stuff sometimes. So that'd be cool. But they had a zoology department. And so I was like, oh, heck yeah, I love animals. So I will go there. So I got hired immediately. And she says, do you want to work with the farm animals or do you want to work with the exotic animals? And I said, I've done farm animals my whole life. Give me the exotics. so so I worked with a lot of really amazing trainers who actually like went to school for it, have like biology, zoology degrees, and I'm just like some farm kid from Montana learning like these amazing training secrets and stuff from these people. So I really just tried to soak up all of their knowledge. but also it was the best job ever because I got to play with animals. I got to talk to people about animals and conservation. And then when like Jack Hanna would be on Today's Show or Good Morning America or any of the networks in New York,
Yeah.
we were the closest animal collection of his to there. So we would take up a lot of those animals to New York and stay in hotels with them and hand them off to him so that he could talk about them on air.
Stay in hotels with animals. Like, what kind of animals are you bunking with?
Like macaws. We have like some of our Burmese python, a lot of like reptiles. Trying to think of what else. We took our sloths. We had lemurs that we would take up there as well. We had a wallaroo, but we never took him up there. But yeah, we had all kinds of interesting, like we had a smaller collection. So I got to work with a variety of different animals. So that was really cool. So I did that. And then while I was busy doing that, I had my daughter being watched by a friend of ours, a neighbor, but she was just putting her in front of SpongeBob all day. And I was like, this is not okay. I have an elementary ed degree, right?
Right.
And so I was like, I think I can do better. So I started on base daycare on post. And so I took on other daycare kids and ran it more like a preschool. So I kept more preschool age type kids. So I did that. And then, I was still doing the animal training, especially just on the weekends more or evenings, but I needed more stuff. So I found a massage school in Virginia. They had night classes. So I took night classes to get my massage license. And I really loved that too.
Yeah.
So, but then my husband got orders to Texas. We were supposed to be there for another 2 years, but I found with the military, like nothing's ever guaranteed. So after I already signed up for these classes and everything, and we're pretty deep into it, he got orders for Texas. And I was like, oh, well. So he went to Texas. I stayed in Virginia. I was like kind of homeless, but I stayed with a friend whose husband was deployed. And then I was working so much that my daughter, I sent her back home to Montana to stay with my parents for a little bit. While I finished school, I doubled up on classes. And so I was either working with the animal training or doing massages and trying to get that done quick so I could go. I even had my animals fostered out to different places because we couldn't keep them where I was staying. It was a whole other mess.
Gosh.
Yeah. So then I finished that. And then we went to Texas, El Paso, Texas. Fort Bliss was where we were stationed. And so we were there, and my husband deployed. I finished my massage licensing, stayed up here, kind of was back and forth between Montana and El Paso. And then he came back. So then we were in El Paso. I did massages there. And then I got pregnant with our twins.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that was fun. We didn't even find out there was twins until my third ultrasound at 22 weeks. So that was news. And we were in this little tiny apartment, which we loved, and it worked great for just the three of us. But when the twins came, they were in a crib in our kitchen because there was nowhere else to put them. So yeah. And then my husband was supposed to be deploying again, and the unit just was not super supportive of what we had going on. And one of the twins got hospitalized. He had RSV. Yeah, RSV. The other one had it, but wasn't bad enough to be hospitalized. But then they wouldn't let her in. And so it was just a whole mess. And that was kind of my breaking point. And so I moved back up to Montana where I had a little bit more of a support system and people to help me. Because it wasn't my husband's fault. Like he was only doing what he could.
What an incredible experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that that's why you're so amazing at understanding other people's human experience and in doing what we do with real estate and helping people achieve housing through all of these life happenings, like amazing life happenings. But, they always seem to turn out, I feel like, all these things kind of happen because they are supposed to happen and
Right.
are part of your human experience. But in somewhere in there, we have to insert housing with the current situation that people are with. And sometimes we end up with surprise twins and
Yeah.
different housing situations and needing to move and travel quickly because of deployment or job changes or
Right.
not having the support system that you need. So you needed to come back to Montana. What
Right.
happened from there?
So from there, I moved back up here, and then it was kind of a crossroads for me and my husband, and it was trying to decide, is he staying in or is he getting out, coming up here with us? It
Right.
was pretty tumultuous time, but in the end, he came up here. He got out of the military, which was also kind of scary because, it was what we knew. It was our,
Right.
yeah, it was just structure.
Mhm.
So he ended that part of our life and then came up here. I had a friend who was able to get him a pretty good job here. And so he was still doing the reserves just because, it's a little bit easier to make that transition, I think.
Sure.
And so he did deploy again with the reserves, which is a whole different kind of a deployment. And that actually, I think, set us up the best. We were able to pay off my student loans. We were living with my parents. We had like an up down duplex kind of thing. So I was upstairs with the kids and everything, and my parents were downstairs. And it was the most ideal situation, especially while he deployed again, because then I had my parents still down there to help. But it really financially put us in a better position to be able to buy our first house and everything. And so while he was about to come back, we were looking for our first home. And I decided I kind of like looking at other people's houses. So I decided I think this would be super fun. I think that's kind of what drew me in. And so I kind of do this with like all my things, with massage school, with real estate, with all these things. I'm like, I think I'm going to do this thing. Who wants to come? And so people are like, "Oh yeah, that sounds fun." But then I'm the only one who shows up and like actually does it. And it works out. Like I'm not afraid. Like I said, I like to lean into being scared or weird or whatever.
Yes.
I'm really good at being awkward.
You're comfortable with change and you're comfortable
Yes.
with being uncomfortable. That is
Yes.
a huge skill.
Yeah.
Holy
It's
cow.
also got me into some hot waters too. But for the most
Okay.
part, it's pretty good. So yeah, I went to the week-long Knoll Morton school here, and I'm one of those people who has to learn in person. So that was the best situation for me. And I met some of the neatest people in the class too, and I'm still really good friends with them. So that was neat. And yeah, so
When
the
was
rest.
that? When did you go to real estate school?
Oh, I probably should have wrote that down. I want to say it was 2017 or 2018.
Wow. Okay.
One
So
of the
you are past the newbie stage for sure. That you are definitely thick into your real estate career. That's
yeah, and
incredible.
my first year was like my broker, Damien. He even told me, he goes, "You're dealing with a lot of problems that don't come up in people's careers like ever." And so I was like, "Oh, I don't know if that's good or bad." And he told me, he said, You're going to learn a lot from it and be able to take it to any other deal that you have." So I guess
Absolutely.
blessing in disguise.
You have to be able to deal with adversity and you have to be able to be uncomfortable and help people with uncomfortable situations. Like
Yeah.
even just your history of knowing that you guys were able to put yourself in a much better financial situation by humbling yourself to move in with your parents. And
Right.
what that effect was on your financial situation, how it changed your life. And that's really great advice for a lot of young people getting started, especially if they've gone, the college route and they've spent all their time in college and they don't have a lot of money or any savings or, they don't have a career history, anything like that, which can be very, very limiting to purchasing a home. So
Yeah.
humbling yourself. I think you're the best person to be able to help people to understand like, hey, this is okay. It's not forever. This is just
Right.
for now, but it's going to make you so much healthier. So,
Yeah.
that's my excitement for you is the tie into real estate is you took all of that history and put it into how you help your clients. So what is it that you love about your job? What do you love about real estate? It's not just looking at pretty houses anymore, huh?
Yeah. I think I love that it is so different. I'm very obviously like, I don't know, I hate labeling things, but like ADHD kind of, and just, oh, I'm very squirrel, like doing this, doing that. Like nothing really keeps my attention like real estate because every deal is different.
Mhm.
There's new problems every time.
Yeah.
So I think the differences within each transaction are what keep me engaged, I think,
Mhm.
and trying to solve the problems that are new to each deal that we have going on. I like problem solving and I like trying to help people see the bigger picture and the brighter side and telling them, if this one didn't work out, I'm a firm believer in it's not meant to be. Like there's
Yeah.
no accidents or coincidences.
Just
Just
wasn't the one for you.
right. And we had to learn something from getting this far into it, but now there's something better. So if not this, something better.
Yes.
So
And I truly believe that in real estate, like being ADHD is a superpower. I think all the things that we do and being excited about adversity, being excited about new problems, and like, how do we fix it? Diving in together, we're putting our heads together. I love brainstorming with realtors and being able to be like, we could do this, we could do that, and like, let's just come up with a solution. There's always a solution. We just have to
always.
figure it out and then put the pieces into play and start, making progress.
Yeah,
So
I think it's Marie Forleo that says everything is figure
figure
outable,
outable.
and I
Yes,
love it.
I do too. It's such a
Like
great
my favorite.
book.
Yes.
It's so true. It's so true. And I think that that's the kind of confidence that great realtors come with is it's like, there's a solution. We just got to find it together. Nothing it makes me more angry. In fact, we were having a conversation about it yesterday was that anybody that like tomahawks or says this won't work, in a file or in a transaction. And it's like, no, 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 no. Don't come to me with no, this won't work. Come to me with an idea. Like, let's keep moving and just figure
Right.
out what we need to do. It might not be right now for them, but we're going to figure out how it will happen, what they need to do.
Yes, that's another thing. I'm super grateful for our MLS and all the realtors in it. Okay, so not all, that's a general statement, but the majority of the realtors and brokers in our MLS, I feel like are super cooperative and I never feel stupid like telling somebody, I don't know what to do with this. Like, what are your ideas? Like,
Mhm.
it's a very open, I guess, way of being around here that people want the best for everybody. Everybody wants a win-win, and it makes me super comfortable and grateful to have that because I know not every MLS is like that.
No,
So
no, they're
I
not. So
yes.
tell me, my friend, what in your business is working really well?
Okay, so well, you were talking about how like being kind of everywhere and ADHD is a superpower. Well, I found that I wasn't as organized and I brought on a really dear friend of mine. I asked her to get her license when I did, and she just wasn't quite in the space or ready to do it back then. She had
Mhm.
some things that she needed to figure out for herself. Well, she did it on her own about 2 years ago, maybe 2 and a half now. Time gets away from me. But she went and did it on her own, got licensed, and she joined me, and she has been, like, the rocket fuel for me because she keeps like, I wanna cry thinking about her because 'cause I'm super grateful for her. Sorry, I'm super emotional person, and I just
No.
don't
What's her
share.
name? Let's give her a shout out.
Megan Hoban. So, she's my, like, everything.
Mhm.
Like, she is what my husband is in my personal life
Yeah.
to my business. So, she's
What
gonna
does
laugh
she
at
what does she do for you?
she keeps our train on the tracks. She keeps all of our files organized, and she, like, keeps my sanity, honestly. Like, I don't know how other people do it all alone.
No.
Like, we can talk about different personalities that we have that we're dealing with. And sometimes people are very difficult. And so just having somebody who's going through it with me, it's like a huge game changer for me.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I did it for quite a while before she got in, but now that I have her, I can't see and like going backwards. But yeah, I used to stay up till like 3, 4 a.m. getting paperwork done, right? Because we're out on the road showing in Montana. Everything's so far away.
Yeah.
I'll be showing like in Red Lodge and Roundup in the same day, and it just takes hours and hours out of your day. So by the time you're actually putting contracts together or getting things finalized or back from signatures, it was like 4 a.m.
Mhm.
So now that I have her, one of us is driving, one of us is organizing things or getting signatures.
Yeah.
It just makes such a huge difference with that. And I don't know, I can't see my partner being anybody else
Mhm.
because she compliments me so well.
Mhm.
She's an introvert and I'm obviously the extrovert. And she's like, I just like being on a podcast like this or something. She's like, I would break out into hives. And I'm like, oh, I don't really think too much about it. It's just
No.
show up, whatever. But I think that's where our secret sauce is because we fill each other's gaps, I guess, where we lack, the other fills.
That makes so much sense about you because
Yeah.
I was researching you and I was like, what? How is she doing all of this? And that
Yeah, I
is
have a Megan.
so, I mean, you have a clone. I mean, you have somebody that can help you manage. And I always am saying, like, my next hire is a chauffeur. And it sounds so elitist to say that, but it's the amount of work that we do during the day
Yeah.
and you're wasting that time driving is if you could just sit there and do your work on your computer or on your phone because we do so much on our phones, how much of a superpower that is. So smart, and I wish more people would
Uh,
get some help when it comes to doing real estate. It just is too much for one person to do.
100% agree. And even like the safety aspect, there's two of us. We try to go to everything together.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes we can't, so it's easier to divide and conquer. But like if we have clients that we have already been working with and we know it's safe, then it's fine. But there have been too many incidences, especially with like rural properties that we're showing, that are vacant. We don't know. And so just the safety aspect alone is reassuring as well. And we carry. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every realtor should be carrying and as it
yeah.
because you just don't know who you're going to end up with. You don't know these people that you're with and you're by yourself.
For the property,
Absolutely.
you don't know where things are or if there's a transient there. There's
Oh
just so
my
many
gosh.
variables.
Yeah, I'm so glad you do that. So
Yeah.
tell me, what have been some of the biggest roadblocks that you've had in your business?
Roadblocks, probably the learning curve on certain things, like feeling like I don't know, like you said, when people are just like, no, or different personalities that I maybe am not able to get through. But I think a lot of that has been kind of educating those people, especially if they're our clients, educating them on why we're doing a certain thing or trying to find a different way to communicate with maybe it's an agent on the other side. And you just kind of have to know how to try to get through to them. I think maybe that's part of it. Or feeling like I didn't know something. But like I said, we have amazing agents here that will help you along the way and not make you feel stupid for not knowing something.
Mhm.
And I think that's again part of it. And I'm not afraid to ask or tell people. Like I'm not going to bullshit somebody and tell them like I know what I'm talking about when I don't.
Right.
I will ask and find out. I like to be the source of the source. That's Damien's favorite thing. You don't have to be the expert in everything, be the source of the source. So I really lean into that. And like I might know something about this, but maybe it's not super pertinent to this transaction or whatever, but I know who can tell us more. So making
Absolutely.
making those connections for the experts is a big part of, not knowing what I don't know.
I always think, and I tell my son this, my son's 14. I always think the important part in life in learning is to know or find out that you don't have to have all the answers to everything. You just have to know where to find them. And
Yes.
that, I mean, in our industry, stuff is changing. It changes every day. The guidelines change, the rules change, your guys' contracts change, like everything changes all the time. And so to try to be an expert in everything is really, really overwhelming. But to know where it is that you need to go to get the answer, that's how you deal with a lot of these roadblocks that you're talking about. It's just go find the answer.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's it too. So
Well, I'm going to throw in a question on you that you're not prepared for because I'm just dying to know. I mean, this drag racing thing is just so exciting to me. I had no idea that you were into that, but
yeah.
it's amazing to me. Where is your customer base? Like, how do you get your customers? And that's a very different circle. It's not the luxury market. Like so many people are wanting to farm the luxury market. It's so boring to me to only ever just be like, I'm a luxury agent. No, I'm an agent, or for me, like I'm a lender of the people in the middle. And so, how do you get customers? Where do you find them?
I think it's because I'm involved in so many things. Honestly, so yeah, with drag racing, I've had a lot of those same racers and stuff who come to me. So I kind of have my own little farm that I do. I actually had a podcast before. It was kind of while the twins were small, and
Uh-huh.
I'd realized that raising kids and zookeeping, like raising animals, was really similar. So I called it the domestic zookeeper.
Oh my
Don't look
gosh, I
it up. It's
love
not that
that.
great. It's just me talking endlessly because I have to do that, obviously, to be able to keep my healthy throat chakra. But that's why I don't have a problem coming on here. And so I think just all of the things that I'm involved in. I also still do massages. So a lot of my massage clients have turned into real estate clients. I think
Wow.
there's something to be said about somebody who's, vulnerable and like half naked on my table. Like they trust me to
The
not,
trust. Yeah.
yeah, the trust to take care of their body. So what's helping them take care of a house? I used to kid that I would give people a discount on their massage if we could talk about real estate. So I think that, worked out sometimes. Yeah, I think it's just because I'm not afraid to go up to people if I overhear a conversation, maybe talking about houses or property or anything like that. And then I should have worn one today. I make some interesting conversation starter t-shirts. So,
Say what?
yeah. So we even have a sign writer that says free beer and tacos for buyers 21 and over, obviously. Those got approved. So we put those on some of our properties, not all of them, obviously. So I have a shirt that says, ask me how to get free beer and tacos. And then
Oh
I
my
have,
gosh.
yeah. So, and then I have some, I'm trying to think of what they all say. Oh, I help animals and their humans find their forever homes. I have one that has like a tornado and two little houses that says here to calm the chaos.
Oh
I
my
think is what,
gosh.
yeah, just some random ones. And so I actually have a store for those for, I have a 16-year-old now. And so she's got all these trips planned. And so I was selling those to realtors to try to help her get somebody because it's expensive to send her to Ecuador. So
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
yeah, and who doesn't need like good conversation starter shirts? So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, who has been your mentor and what did you learn from them?
so Damien, I think, was a huge impact
He's
on me,
amazing.
especially yes, especially in the beginning when I knew nothing and was getting all kinds of large problems that I did not know how to deal with. So Damien was huge for that. And also any of the other brokers and realtors in our MLS that I just really kind of would learn a lot from bits and pieces here and there. And then I love taking classes because it's another opportunity for me to meet more people. So I try to get out to a lot of classes and continuing ed opportunities. And then in our brokerage here in Billings, there's quite a few agents that like to get together. And so we'll just get together sometimes and talk about what's going on with our transactions or maybe some difficult things that we have. And we'll problem solve, just some problem solving sessions. So I'm super grateful for all those. So,
Oh my gosh. Oh
so
my gosh,
everybody
that's
is a
so
mentor to
brilliant.
me.
So what would you, if you could pull the clock back, what do you wish that you would have known about real estate when you first started?
Ooh, maybe how stressful it was going to be taking on other people's problems and being able to separate what you could actually fix and what you don't have control over. That
That's
was
a good
really
one.
hard for me actually,
Mhm.
because especially as like a massage therapist, I was used to being able to tangibly like touch somebody's body and physically fix them, right?
Right.
So that was kind of challenging, and realizing that not everybody comes with the same mentality and like the ability to see past certain problems.
Right.
I think, yeah, and trying not to take all of that on. I think my first year in real estate, I gained like 30 pounds because I mean, all the stress
The
and
stress.
then all of the events that you went to, there was like alcohol and food everywhere. And I was
There's
just
so
like,
much
oh,
alcohol in
yeah.
real estate. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so not to say that, I don't enjoy that sometimes, but yeah, realizing and trying to keep my stress and knowing the difference. I also just got NeuroFit certified, which
Oh my
is just
gosh,
another
woman.
thing. You know,
You're
and
a
so I
lifelong learner.
yes, yeah, I think honestly, if you're not learning, you're dying. Like
Yeah.
what is the purpose? There's always something to learn. And I was really excited about this one. Initially, I thought I was going to be able to use it for my massage clients,
Yeah.
but then quickly realized that this would be like a huge thing for realtors because we often take on the stress of our clients and
Yeah.
anything not going right, and just being able to check in on this app and have like a trainer to be able to help you, because awareness is, the first thing. You can't fix what you don't have awareness of. And so
Mhm.
having the awareness of where you are on all these different aspects of your personal life, I think it's just a huge game changer to be able to fix that and, be able to move past certain things. So,
I think that's brilliant. And I completely can just comment on, and I've said it before, when I first got into real estate, I turned into a wine bottle a night kind of gal just to kind of manage the stress and to just have that release of just having that first glass of wine. And then very quickly, it was a bottle a night, which will make you
right,
put on 30 pounds pretty quickly. And I think, something that you've really identified is that there is a large amount of stress in this industry and it needs to be managed, whether it's through massage or it's with this app that you have, and not through alcohol and food.
right,
It's such a healthy thing to realize. And so you're not just helping your clients with the stress, you're helping other realtors. That's amazing.
right. Yeah, I'm really excited to help more realtors with it. So I think it could be a game changer for a lot of people, hopefully.
So just diving right into that, then, like, what does the
Sure.
future look like for you? What are your non-negotiables that have to happen in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I think that leaning into that, I also just recently, so I'm a yes and person, not like a this or that. It kind of really like rubs me the wrong way when I hear somebody say, because it just happened recently where this girl I was talking to at coffee said that she was thinking about getting into either beauty school or going real estate. And I was like, well, why can't you do both? It just doesn't like dawn on me that people have like it's this or that. I'm like, well, which one first? And then you can do both. So it's
Oh
like
my gosh,
there's
girl.
always an and. But
Amazing, though. What an optimistic viewpoint.
yeah, yeah, it's just yeah, how I'm programmed.
Well, you get
I
one
don't
life. You might as well do all the things that you want to do in it.
right. Yeah, that's people like, well, you can have a career or a family. I'm like, why can't you have both? I don't like there's both. My kids come with me, like, I don't know. It's yeah, I don't like to box things. It has to be this or that. Like, yes, and this. So yeah, I said yes to this before I really knew what it entailed, but I agreed to be the state leader for the EXP MilNet. So it's the military network because I am a military spouse and I do a lot with the veterans and I Love the VA process actually for home buyers. I think it's a huge beneficial program. And then I'm also a Homes for Heroes affiliate. So with that, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can tell you, I guess. So last year alone, we were able to give back $72,000 to our hero clients. So that was huge
Wow.
for us. I don't even know what my other numbers and stuff are.
Those are the numbers that matter to you.
Those are the ones that matter to me. And a lot of those were veterans. We had a lot of veterans and medical. So I love serving those industries and those people. It's super rewarding to me. And when I was looking into that program, it kind of hurt me that so many other agents were telling me that they would never do that because they have to give up so much of their commission. I was like, yeah, but like it goes back to your clients who, save lives and give back to their whole community too. So again, I think it's just that mindset too, like you were talking about. I don't have a very limited mindset. It's just like, yeah, there's always more though. So you can give a lot away because there'll be more that comes from it. So
Chantal, you are like so inspiring. I hope that our listeners today have been as inspired as I have been. I mean, the way you look at life, I mean, yes, real estate is a big part of your life, but your life is so big and it has so many different things in it. And you've been able to look at life and say, I think I'll take everything that I want, not just one or two, including with your real estate partner. You're taking a bite out of literally everything that you want out of life. And that is so inspiring because there are so many realtors that literally all they do is real estate. That's all they do. You get to the end of your life and I don't think any realtor has ever put on their headstone, I wish I did more real estate,
Right.
And
Absolutely.
so I'm just so inspired. You are an incredible human. I'm so grateful you joined me today.
I would not be able to do it without my family's support and like my mom and my husband. And like you said, my business partner, like I wouldn't be anywhere. I wouldn't be able to do all of it without all of them. So I'm super blessed and fortunate and grateful for them and all of their help. Like my mom is super involved with my kids. So I feel like they're never missing out on anything. I have FOMO a lot on things. And so I always worry about that with my kids, but they never do. So yeah, it would not be possible without all the people surrounding me and loving me. So super grateful for them too.
This has been incredible. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Success Realtor Podcast. As a reminder, I'm the producing branch manager of the Wood team at Hometown Lenders. What we are known for are three things. Number one, we close on time. Number two, we keep our realtors in the sales seat at all times by keeping them updated on their current transaction and encouraging them to go out and get some more. Number three, when you entrust your lead with us, we will follow up on that lead until they buy, fly, or die. Leads are never lost to our lack of follow-up. Our number one priority is for you to earn more money in commissions so that you can improve the lives of your family, community, and in turn, our country. So can I count on you for that next buyer lead? I would love to work with you too. Also, if you're interested in being a guest on the podcast, please just reach out to my office. All right, we'll talk to you when you call in, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Success Realtor Podcast. Bye-bye.